curaj și acest curaj vine din nevoie. Totul stă să cadă, nu exagerez, iar aici locuiesc oameni.
You go to war, you are forced to kill people, you are forced to steal, you are forced to...
Or you will die.
Yeah, and you will die.
Adică omul, chiar dacă se întoarce, nu mai are actele care să dovedească că această casă a fost a lui. Urmele războiului. Am găsit și o casetă și că omul a făcut 9 luni de pușcărie pentru nimic. Autoritățile au considerat că a fost responsabilitatea lui. $12.000 pentru o Dacia Solența.
They can throw you in jail for like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, a year without even accusing you of anything.
Nu au găsit doar clădirile bombardate, ci și apartamentele complet golite. Oamenii de aici au fost înfometați. Chiar dacă vorbim de mâncare, alimente, ajutoare, nimic nu mai intra în această zonă. Salutare prieteni și bine v-am regăsit! Bine ați venit în Siria! Mă aflu în Damasc pentru o săptămână și o să încerc să explorez cât de mult se poate, așa că rămâneți până la final. Nu uitați să vă abonați la acest canal de YouTube dacă nu ați făcut-o până acum. Este gratis și mă ajută foarte mult și v-aș ruga să ajutați vlogul cu un like și un hype ca să ajungă la cât mai multă lume. Eu zic că merită. Acum sunt în curtea interioară a hotelului nostru, o să-l vedeți pe larg într-un vlog viitor, pentru că astăzi nu discutăm despre turism, vorbim despre lucruri mai puțin turistice, lucruri reale care au lăsat răni adânci în sufletele oamenilor de aici. În prima parte a zilei o să mergem într-o tabără de refugiați, după care în Jobar, un cartier cât un oraș de mare care a fost linia frontului pentru a vedea cum arată viața după război. Ca să înțelegeți mai bine contextul, Siria a fost condusă de familia Assad mai bine de 50 de ani. În 2011, după 10 de ani de dictatură, oamenii au ieșit în stradă împotriva regimului. Protestele au fost înnăbușite cu violență și s-a ajuns la un război civil care a rupt țara în bucăți. În toți acești ani vorbim de sute de mii de oameni care și-au pierdut viața. Unele estimări vorbesc despre aproape 1 milion de persoane, orașe întregi distruse și peste 13-14 milioane de sirieni care și-au părăsit casele. Practic, cea mai mare criză de refugiați a lumii moderne, după care în decembrie 2024 regimul a căzut după mai bine de 13 ani de război, iar acum Siria are un guvern de tranziție care încearcă să reconstruiască țara. Ei bine, în această săptămână încercăm să vedem care este situația reală de aici, cum trăiesc oamenii, dacă țara este sigură și dacă într-adevăr s-a schimbat ceva. Mașina trebuie să ajungă dintr-un moment în altul, așa că haideți să pornim la drum. Gata, a venit mașina, am plecat la drum. He is my friend Ahmad.
Hello.
From Syria. So we are going first.
So our first stop is going to be Yarmouk Palestinian camp. It's a refugee camp built in Syria for the Palestinians who were displaced from Palestine in 1948.
Așa că prima oprire o să fie o tabără de refugiați, o tabără palestiniană. O să discutăm mai multe când ajungem acolo. Vreau să vă spun câteva lucruri despre sponsorul de astăzi, aplicația Go to Ride Sharing. Dacă aveți drumuri de făcut prin țară, prin Europa, mergeți spre aeroport sau chiar aveți o firmă de transport, aplicația aceasta vă poate fi de mare folos. Este complet gratuită și funcționează foarte simplu. Dacă ai mașină și pleci într-un oraș sau spre aeroport, poți publica cursa ta în aplicație. În acest fel, alți oameni care vor să meargă în aceeași direcție te pot contacta și puteți împărți cheltuielile. În cazul în care ești pasager, așa cum suntem și noi, adesea căutați curse deja publicate, alegeți una convenabilă și vă alăturați. Totul se întâmplă direct în aplicație, fără comision, fără intermediari, fără platforme străine. Funcționează chiar și pentru cei care vor să trimită colete, o opțiune foarte utilă, mai ales în orașe sau pentru cei ce vor să trimită ceva în țară sau în străinătate. Pe lângă asta, GoTo are acum și funcții speciale pentru companiile de transport. Dacă ai o firmă și îți înregistrezi contul ca atare, de astăzi poți să vinzi bilete direct din aplicație prin Stripe, un sistem 100% funcțional. Mai mult, pasagerii care cumpără bilete online pot contacta direct șoferul prin WhatsApp imediat după achiziție. În cazul în care apar probleme pe drum, există funcția SOS, poți trimite rapid un semnal de ajutor, iar ceilalți utilizatori GoTo din apropiere îl vor vedea și vor veni să te ajute. Ai inclusă și o funcție de chat, poți discuta direct cu cei online în acel moment. Toate aceste lucruri gratuit direct din telefon. O să vă las linkul în descriere pentru descărcare, în descriere și în primul comentariu. Este disponibilă atât pe Android cât și pe iOS.
All the way inside, there is another neighborhood called Al-Hajar Al-Aswad or Black Rock. It's also a poor neighborhood, also suffered from huge destruction. Assad forces would bomb the place relentlessly, and they would throw hundreds, if not thousands, of rockets at the area in order to take one line of buildings or one small block of buildings.
Pentru mine totul este șocant, dar dreptul șocant. I don't see police, army, nothing. We are coming from Iraq. Noi venim din Irak, iar acolo am văzut poliție și armată peste tot. Aici, până acum nimic.
Here there is a presence of police only at the entrances and the exits of cities and some neighborhoods. But in the streets everywhere, it's becoming less and less and less because the city is perfectly safe. There is no need for them to be present there.
I understand.
But in some places, like for example, on the highway in the desert, you'll find checkpoints in order to make sure that no problems happen. This type of destruction, see over there, like the corner of the building, the roof would fall on the next one, and the next one would fall on the one after it, and the whole building would collapse in this way. This type of destruction is called pancaking because it looks like it's like a pancake on top of each other.
Ca un tort. Yeah.
See how it's just stacked on, almost intact, but on top of each other stacked.
Așa ceva nu am mai văzut până acum. Am fost în zone de război, dar ce văd aici este desprins din filmele de groază. Ireal. Gândiți-vă că aici era un oraș întreg, dragi prieteni. York Camp, ceva de genul, parcă se pronunță. Înainte de război, în această zonă trăiau peste 100.000 de palestinieni și 10.000 de sirieni. Iar astăzi arată cam așa, suntem abia la început, dar din câte văd acolo în depărtare, totul este distrus. Se numea și Mica Palestină, Little Palestine. Aveam magazine, piețe, școli, cafenele, un mic orășel. Astăzi ceea ce vedeți în jur sunt ruinele acestui oraș palestinian din Damasc. Iar din câte am înțeles, o să întreb și ghidul, o parte din oameni au început să se întoarcă, dar majoritatea încă sunt împrăștiați prin Siria, Liban, Europa. So here was the Little Palestine, no?
Little Palestine, exactly. That's what the people refer to it.
A city, like 100,000 people lived here, if I know right, yeah.
It's so sad to think that wherever the Palestinians go, destruction follows them.
Yeah,
Be it in Gaza, here.
Yeah.
Here, there is no clear numbers of the people who died here because there was, on top of the siege, there was also bombing and starvation. So if I had to guess, it would be like 10% of the people living here, so roughly 10 to 15,000 died here.
Este incredibil ceea ce văd. Pur și simplu când vezi asta, rămâi fără cuvinte. Acestea sunt urmările războiului, urmările reale ale războiului, dragi prieteni.
And it's beyond repair. Like, how can you repair something like this? You have to bring it down and build it from scratch. And people here are impoverished. Like, they are so poor. They probably still have payments to do for the houses that were destroyed. You see, every single bullet, every single hole in the wall is a sign of a dead dream. Someone who had this home, they had their family here, and they lost everything overnight.
Sunt oameni care s-au mai întors și locuiesc aici. Avem și panouri solare. Ce pot să spun? Bine ați venit în Siria, dragi prieteni. Oamenii care trăiesc aici au lăsat în urmă case, cartiere întregi, orașele în care s-au născut. Pentru unii, locul acesta nu mai e doar o tabără temporară, e casă de ani de zile sau a fost casă de ani de zile, pentru că la ce văd în jurul meu, nu știu dacă mai poți spune casă. Să știți că nu sunt aici să judec sau să pun etichete, sunt doar o persoană cu o cameră în mână prin care vreau să vedeți cum arată în realitate viața, cum arată viața sau cum arăta viața într-o tabără de refugiați. Nu sunt corturi, așa cum ați imagina, de obicei când spunem tabără de refugiați, mintea se duce spre corturi. Dar nu este așa.
For example, there you see the spray paint. It's some contractor advertising his services to rebuild.
Okay.
So if you have an apartment that can be fixed, you'd call this guy, he'd come clean it up. You see all these piles of rubble, these were all inside the houses. So probably the owner of the house contacted the contractor, he removed the rubble, then maybe they painted or they put back the tiles.
To rebuild, okay.
To rebuild.
But if you don't have the money?
If you don't have the money, you have to either do it on your own or you just forget about your house, especially if it's so severely damaged. Because some of these houses...
Yeah, but I don't think you can rebuild this.
Yeah.
It's not safe.
It's not safe. Most of these buildings, because of the bombing and the ground shaking. Even their foundations are.
Yeah.
On top of that, even if you rebuild your house and come back, maybe in this building there are like 6 apartments.
Yeah.
So you have money, you can afford to rebuild. You came back. What kind of life your family is gonna live? There's no neighbors, there's no friends, there is no way to. The boys can't play in the street. The girls can't go to school.
It's like a ghost town.
Yeah, it's a ghost town.
V-am spus înainte de război, acesta era un mini orășel palestinian, după care a fost lovit cu bombe și gloanțe, a fost lovit de foamete, zona a fost blocată luni de zile, aproape nimic și nimeni nu mai intra. Chiar dacă vorbim de mâncare, alimente, ajutoare, nimic nu mai intra în această zonă. Oamenii de aici au fost înfometați, au ajuns să mănânce orice găseau doar ca să supraviețuiască. Blocarea a transformat cartierul într-o capcană. Nu puteai să pleci, nu aveai de unde să cumperi mâncare, nu aveai cu ce să te tratezi.
So in 1948, after the declaration of the State of Israel, the birth of Israel, so many Palestinians were displaced from their homes and their villages, and they went to Jordan, to Egypt, and to Syria. In Syria, they settled in this area here. And over the years, the government started building buildings for them to live in, and it became like a little Palestine with roughly 100,000 Palestinian refugees living in this area, in this district. When the revolution started, some of the Palestinians living here, they joined the rebels in protests against the regime. Assad, he always claimed to be the Palestinians' best friend, best ally. So some of the Palestinians, they had militias affiliated with the Assad regime. So they started oppressing the revolting Palestinians. And later, when the rebels started arming themselves to protect themselves against the attacks from the army and the police and the secret police, the Palestinians joined the armed revolution, and rebel factions were here in this district defending it against the army. At one point, around 2013-14, ISIS came to the area and took control and kicked out the rebels, the local rebels, and the Assad army laid siege to the area here. The people who were unlucky enough to stay, they were starved and bombed on a daily basis. They suffered from bombing from Assad and from oppression from ISIS, who were in control of this part of town. After heavy, brutal bombing campaign and the starvation, of course, if you see the videos on YouTube, they still exist. Children like spending months and even years without real food. They even resorted to cooking grass from the ground in order to just have some sustenance. Eventually, the government made a deal with ISIS. They put them in buses and evicted them from the town, and Assad army took control of that place.
So I heard that they built tunnels, something like that.
The tunnels are in Jobar.
Jobar, different area. We have some people here, kids. This area, it's a little bit.
We started here. This is the surrounding area of the camp. If you imagine a war, the sieging army would bomb the surrounding areas, but inside there would be less destruction because it would be protected.
So this is the middle, the center.
The closer we go in that direction, the less destruction we will see, and the more people we will see. And there we
have a bank or something.
This is an NGO.
An ONG.
Yeah.
Okay. And there also, ONG-uri care ajută. Aici avem viață. Printre aceste dărâmături nu-mi imaginam un domn care vinde ceai de toate taximetriști. Nu-mi imaginam să vedem oameni care locuiesc aici. Se pare că în centrul acestui orășel avem oameni, avem persoane. But it's safe for them to live in this condition?
It's probably not safe, but it's their best option. The other option is to live in a tent.
In the tent, in quarter.
And winter has come, so I can't imagine it to be a very good experience to live in a tent. Probably most of these people who have recently returned, they were living in campsites in Lebanon, in Jordan, in Syria, in the north. So they got sick and tired of living in a camp.
Acolo avem un magazin, un mini market. Totul este plin de praf, dar sincer aceasta este cea mai mică problemă a acestor oameni. E groaznic ceea ce văd. Este greu să mă exprim în cuvinte. Acolo avem o mașină care a fost împachetată pur și simplu.
Now not so often, but right after we gained access to all these places, because during the rule of Assad regime, no one would be allowed to access these areas. After Assad escaped, we started going to visit Jobar, to visit Yarmouk, to visit all these places. You see cars parked inside. The owner would park it there thinking that it would save it from the bombing. But the building would be bombed and completely collapse on the car, losing both the building and the car.
Aici avem și o construcție nouă. This is
Scaffolding.
new. Yeah. From zero. Cum ne spunea și domnul mai devreme, la un moment dat, această zonă a ajuns sub control ISIS, apoi a venit ofensiva armatei cu artilerie și avioane, iar ceea ce vedeți astăzi aici este rezultatul acelor acțiuni. This is a school?
This is UNRWA school. UNRWA is the UN agency that is interested in providing aid and jobs for Palestinian refugees worldwide.
It's new
because it's financed by the UN, so Japan and Spain mainly donated to rebuild this immediately, to provide people with like a center or a place for them to gather, a school to send their children, to give them hope to return.
They have water, they have not the school.
Not all houses, not all houses.
Not everywhere, no?
Not everywhere, no. Because the infrastructure was severely damaged. The damages in this district has affected 60 to 80% of the houses here. Remember, it's a big district, and we have explored only like 5% of it.
Spre exemplu, această zonă. Totul stă să cadă, nu exagerez, iar aici locuiesc oameni. Acolo, la etajul 2 și 3. Curaj, și acest curaj vine din nevoie, pentru că atunci când nu ai încotro, nu ai încotro. Asta e tot ce ți-a mai rămas. Din informațiile pe care le-am găsit, se spune că până la 80% din clădiri au fost lovite sau prăbușite. Sunt rapoarte care spun clar, ISIS a fost folosit ca pretext pentru a rade aproape tot cartierul de pe fața pământului. Mulți dintre cei care s-au întors spun că nu au găsit doar clădirile bombardate, ci și apartamentele complet golite, fără instalații, fără cabluri, fără uși, fără geamuri. Practic tot ce se putea vinde, tot ce se putea fura, s-a furat. Mai trist este că, din câte spun oamenii de aici, nu toți, o parte din ei, armata ar fi responsabilă pentru aceste furturi și distrugeri. Nu știu dacă pot să le spun distrugeri, pentru că aceste clădiri, după cum bine vedeți, deja au fost distruse. Lucrul acesta este o altă rană despre care se vorbește mai puțin. Partea mai dureroasă este că, așa cum vă spuneam, aceste lucruri au fost făcute de armată. How was life here before the war? Before the everything?
It was simple. Life was very simple here. You see, it has narrow streets and a huge number of buildings. It had a big population concentration here, and people went to school. Life was very simple. This was a lower middle class area. People had no care in the world until everything happened. And it's funny you asked me this. Here, this used to be a bakery, and this is the price list from before the inflation.
Oh, the prices.
Yeah. So here it says 5 Syrian pounds for Iraqi bread, 5 Syrian pounds for like flat bread, and 5 Syrian pounds for Palestinian bread. 5 Syrian pounds. Now, if you tell anyone like 5 Syrian pounds, they would laugh at you because it's out of circulation. The lowest bill we have is 500.
500,
yeah. It always, whenever I see like an old menu or an old price list, it makes me laugh of how
observat.
How bad the currency got.
Yeah, exactly. O să discutăm despre asta în vlogul viitor, pentru că o să schimbăm, cred că 100 de euro sau 150, pentru a vedea cât de mult înseamnă. Cât primim la schimb, pentru că valoarea este greu de explicat. What do you have here? Barbershop.
Wanna have a haircut?
Everything is new. It's perfect. Iar copiii fac curățenie.
Now, for example, if this bakery was to reopen, he needs to add 3 zeros to the 5.
3 zeros.
He doesn't need to do anything. Just add 3 zeros. same prices.
I like that the people from here, they try to clean everything in front of their houses. Yeah.
السلام عليكم الله يعطيك العافية يا حجي كيف صحتك الله يخليك. It's catastrophic. They used to live in a camp in Idlib and now they returned recently. Life there was easier. $10 there would get you through the day, but here it's more expensive.
More expensive.
Here it costs you like $30 a day to
A day. To live. Just to live
with the family.
in this area here.
Yeah. And there's no hygiene and rubble everywhere. There's no water. Electricity is unreliable.
And the electricity, it's expensive.
It's not steady supply all day. It comes and goes, and they recently raised the price of electricity.
So for him, the price is higher.
Yeah.
And the salary?
They can barely make 20 a day. They work from day to night to make $20.
And you need 30 to live.
You need 30 to live. So what most people do is that they stop bringing like luxuries. So for example, you remove meat from the table, you remove sweet desserts from the table, and that's how you can manage. He says he's lucky enough to have his own job, have his own workshop, and he can make some money. But some other people, they are unemployed.
And how was life for him before the war?
Before the revolution, things were easy, available. They made money, they had cars, they had easy life, but at the same time there was no dignity. But now they lost this in exchange for their dignity. Now they have dignity after Assad was gone. He says Assad provided somewhat easy life for people, but at the same time took away their dignity. And now with him gone, people have restored their dignity and they can practice whatever faith they want, the religion they want to practice.
So now it's much better.
Yeah. I think this is a dacia, yeah.
I saw it yesterday in the town. Dacia Solența.
It used to be very popular during Assad rule. It's relatively cheap, but during Assad regime, people had to pay huge taxes in order to own a car.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much this would cost in Romania, but here in Syria, it would cost 600,000, which is roughly $12,000.
12,000 for Dacia Solența.
Yeah. During Assad.
12.000 de dolari pentru Dacia Solența. Now these days I think we don't have anymore.
No, we don't have them at all. Like people.
But I don't know. I don't remember the prices, but
it was not 12,000.
No, I think was like 2,000 or 3,000, something like that. Nu vreau să greșesc, nu știu exact cât costa, dacă vă știți mai bine să lăsați prețurile în comentarii. Dar 12.000 de dolari pe vremea aceea, 10 years ago or something
15 years ago.
15 years ago? Oh, no way. It's
And this is part of the reason now the city is so crowded. There's Assalamu alaikum.
Hello.
There's a lot of traffic jams in the city. Because of the high taxes, people the average person couldn't afford to buy a car. But now, the prices are normal international prices, so everyone can afford to buy a car. But the streets are not ready to receive this much traffic.
Exactly. But this problem, I think this problem it's everywhere. In every city, also in Romania, in every country that I was, this problem is.
Yeah.
And for you, how was the life before the war?
This is a very, it needs a very long answer. When the revolution started, I was 18 years old, and I remember participating in the first demonstrations when I was a freshman in college.
Yeah.
Because almost every day, or at least twice a week, there would be protests in university. Of course, the protests would be like a flash mob. So we would gather, start the demonstration, and before police can come, we disperse. Because anyone who would be detained or arrested, they could be tortured, they could be killed, they could disappear for years before they are released. Then when the war started and the revolution started, the rebels started arming themselves, I chose to continue my education because I basically don't believe in fighting, like in combat.
Yeah.
Some of my friends did join the rebels.
You had this option to join.
Everyone had the option. And so many friends, like some of them would join the rebels, some of them would actually have a different opinion and join the Assad regime, they joined the Assad army. For some people it wasn't even a choice regarding joining the Assad regime, because once you finish your education, once you graduate, you have to do a mandatory military service, conscription. On paper it's 1.5 years, but during the war, Assad kept conscripts for up to 8 years serving on front lines. Yeah. And
8 years. Oh.
you imagine, like, you graduate from university, you expect to serve for only 1 year and a half, and then you are kept for 8 years. You forget everything you have learned.
Exactly.
You don't have any career, you don't have any experience, and they don't pay you enough money to live. They pay like $15 to $20 for a soldier. You are forced to shoot at your own people.
Exactly.
And it's a horrible thing all around. I couldn't defer my military service any longer. So I started paying bribes in order to avoid going to the army. From the year 2022 all the way to the fall of the regime, I paid about $11,000 in bribes in order to avoid the military service. Eventually, of course, I was lucky enough to be able to work hard, and get this money in order to pay it. Other people were not as lucky, so they were forced either to join or to flee the country.
Yeah, because if you don't have money, if you don't have 10,000, what?
Yeah. You go to war. You are forced to kill people. You are forced to steal. You are forced to.
Or you will die.
Yeah, and you will die eventually.
Hello.
السلام عليكم. الله يعطيك العافية. يوتيوبر أجنبي، ما هو صحفي. ما هو صحفي.
ما فيك تفوت تصور هيك بدون
نحن ما عملنا لقاءات مع حدا، ما حكينا مع حدا، بس هيك عم نمشي.
What was the problem?
He's wondering like who we are, what are we filming.
Yeah.
Some people are kind of still suspicious. Yeah.
Yeah, but they are not from police.
No.
So what changes the most after the regime? The biggest thing that changed?
Well, people have more freedom now. People have the ability to express themselves. People have the ability to demonstrate peacefully, freely. Just last week there has been demonstrations against the government, and the police actually protected the demonstrations.
So the people has freedom now.
People have freedom. People feel that the police are there to protect them, not to oppress them or to arrest them. There has been some difficulties, economically speaking, but this is expected after 13, 14 years of war.
Yeah.
With the economy being completely destroyed and Assad's mafia controlling all corners of the economy and relying heavily on drugs production. Now it's the government is doing its best to get the country back on its feet, but unfortunately this means that the average people, the average citizen is going to suffer because there are hard choices to be made. Like, should the government raise the prices of electricity and provide it, or should it just keep it as it is, very low prices and not available to everyone? So they raise the price, and most people now think that the new price is unfair. Same thing with properties and investments and all of that. So people now are trying to keep up with the rising prices because the government has made our economy completely open to the international economy. Before, Assad used to buy the people's silence by subsidizing many things. So you get fuel for low price, electricity for low price, but now everything is international price, and some people are finding that hard to keep up with.
Okay. Yeah.
The price of gas here in Syria is the same as the price of gas in Jordan, for example.
Yeah.
But Jordan didn't go through 13 years of war.
Exactly. It's different story.
Yeah.
Un detaliu foarte important despre care nu prea se vorbește, clădirea tribunalului de aici, unde erau aproape toate documentele, toate actele de proprietate, a fost distrus pur și simplu, a fost ras de pe fața pământului. Asta înseamnă că foarte mulți palestinieni nu mai pot dovedi că aveau o casă aici. Practic nu mai există hârtia care să arate că apartamentul acesta, spre exemplu, aparține unei familii. Adică omul, chiar dacă se întoarce, nu mai are documentele, nu mai are actele care să dovedească că această casă a fost a lui. Tot am spus-o, tot am repetat asta în vloguri, dar aici chiar este de Doamne ferește. Urme de gloanțe peste tot, de rachete, tot ce vă imaginați. Foarte dureros, mai ales faptul că fără acte, dreptul de a te întoarce și de a reconstrui devine doar o promisiune, nu o realitate. Urme de gloanțe peste tot. Este de-a dreptul incredibil. Aici cred că aveam un magazin, ceva. Totul a fost distrus. Este periculos să te aventurezi pe aici, dar wow, priviți și voi. Urmele războiului. Am găsit și o casetă. Cei tineri Nu știu ce am în mână acum. În fața mea e dureros, extrem de dureros. Tras cu tancurile, bănuiesc că au făcut asemenea distrugeri și găuri prin apartamente. Să știți că autoritățile au făcut un plan de reconstrucție pentru Yarmouk. Peste jumătate din teren ar urma să devină blocuri noi, centre comerciale, parcuri. Pe hârtie sună frumos, dar problema este alta. Foarte mulți dintre oamenii care au locuit sau care locuiau aici sunt plecați din țară, nu mai au acte, nu pot veni la timp să demonstreze că ceva le-a aparținut. ONG-urile vorbesc despre un fel de jefuire prin lege, între ghilimele, faptul că autoritățile jefuiesc legal. Acum, dacă este așa sau nu, nu știu ce să vă spun, dar da, este complicat. Vă spun doar ce îmi povestesc cu oamenii de aici, nimic mai mult. Un domn nemulțumit mai devreme, care nu a vrut să fie filmat, tocmai mi-a spus asta prin intermediul ghidului, că se tot schimbă clauzele, că autoritățile au declarat zona de reconstrucție, iar în timp, prin faptul că aceste clauze se tot schimbă, acest cartier palestinian o să dispară pur și simplu de pe hartă și că acesta ar fi unul din motivele pentru care arată cum arată. Repet, asta este ce mi-a povestit domnul mai devreme, care în mod ciudat nu a vrut să fie filmat. Vedeți cum s-a prăbușit clădirea. A căzut apartament peste apartament peste apartament. Nu vreau să intrăm în amănunte și să facem un exercițiu de imaginație prin care să ne gândim prin ce au trecut oamenii în acele momente, în momentul în care aceste clădiri au început să cadă, pentru că sunt sigur că foarte mulți dintre ei au fost prinși aici, sub aceste dărâmturi. Și în această parte este ireal ca în fața casei unde locuiești să ai așa ceva. Omul are și aer condiționat, generator, dar deasupra ta totul este distrus. În fața casei tale același lucru. Cred că se ocupă cu reconstruirea zonei, domnul de aici, pentru că are laje în față. Acesta cred că este folosit pentru a transporta muncitorii, acesta pentru a aduce combustibilul sau apa. Vă spuneam că oamenii au început să se întoarcă începând cu 2020 cu aprobări de securitate, doar că era aproape imposibil să ajungi în această zonă. Eu nu aș fi putut veni. Nimeni, de fapt, nu intra aici. Era greu să primești aprobările. În ultimii ani și mai ales după schimbarea de regim, tot mai mulți foști locuitori au început să revină. Problema e că odată ajungi și aici își dau seama că sunt aproape singuri. Statul oferă foarte puțin. ONG-urile ajută limitat, iar reconstrucția înseamnă, de fapt, să bagi bani din buzunarul tău sau al rudelor plecate în Europa sau în altă parte. Acesta este motivul pentru care vedeți blocuri cu câte o singură fereastră nouă, câte un apartament renovat, într-o mare de ruine, pentru că fiecare repară atât cât îl ține portofelul. Ceea ce vedeți în jur nu e doar un cartier bombardat, e o poveste a unei comunități care a fost mai întâi refugiată din Palestina, apoi lovită de războiul din Siria, după care lovită de foamete, de jafuri, iar acum de legi de reconstrucție care riscă să șteargă definitiv locul de pe hartă. Many of the people from here they have friends that they work in the Europe and they send money to help them to rebuild.
And it's funny whenever you hear politicians in EU countries calling for the return of refugees because Syria is safe now. Yes, Syria is safe, but imagine returning to this.
Priviți și voi. Cam asta vedem din mașină. Oameni care muncesc, sunt albi din cap până în picioare la acest praf. Această parte a orășelului, a cartierului arată ca dintr-un film apocaliptic. Nu exagerez cu absolut nimic. Prietenul nostru ne spunea că următoarea zonă o să arate și mai rău, dar nu cred că e posibil să văd ceva mai rău de atât. În continuare, nu avem poliție pe stradă, nu avem controale de securitate. Am văzut un singur domn cu arma în mână prin această zonă, dar care nu ne-a băgat în seamă. Războiul, dragi prieteni, rezultatele războiului, rezultatele a milioane de miliarde de euro investite în armament, indiferent de țara care investește, rezultatul este același. Iar aici ieșim din această din acest cartier, din tabăra de refugiați. Pentru că la fel ca în celelalte tabere de refugiați pe care le-am văzut, la început au fost corturi, după care aceste tabere au ajuns să fie permanente, s-au transformat în casele oamenilor și ei au început să-și construiască. Așa s-a ajuns de la corturi la blocuri, iar de la blocuri la ruine. So now there are many Palestinian people here?
In Syria, yes, but it's a big number, but it's nothing compared to the number before the war. Because when the war started, many of them left the country to Europe.
To Europe.
Yeah. And instead of fixing the corruption, they silence the people.
Even if you spoke the truth,
Yeah,
you will have problems.
yeah. You'll be accused
What
of...
type of problems? You will go to jail or?
Depends on how connected you are and how the thing you said. For example, if you are just talking about economic problems or life in general, in some cases they would just talk to you. They wouldn't detain you. They tell you like you're crossing some red lines. You should be careful. But if you are, for example, making political commentary or criticizing the regime openly or talking about Assad, you would immediately be detained, and some people would disappear and never to be seen again. Probably would be executed or die under torture. We had more than 100,000 people who disappear, and their fate until now it's unknown, and it's probably they died because of bad detention conditions and torture.
Există o închisoare în apropiere, dar că din păcate nu putem să o vizităm pentru că este închisă. So if I will make this video like 1 year ago with you,
I would never be able to say anything like that. I would tell you, like, close the camera, off camera. I would tell you everything, but on camera I would be like, life is difficult and the economy is bad. That's it. But on camera I would not tell you
because
I would be immediately arrested.
Da, e nebunie. And me, like a tourist?
For you, most of, like 99% of the time, you'll go free. Like no one would care about you, unless they caught you filming something. Like, for example, if you go to a military base and film on the walls or something like that, they would detain you, and some people would never be seen again. Like if, for example, after looking through your passport, they discovered that you were in the West Bank or in Israel. They would accuse you of being a spy and you will disappear.
Da, realitatea dură, dragi prieteni.
For example, last year, Israel bombed the Iranian embassy in Damascus. It was all over the news.
Yeah.
One of my colleagues, who is also a tour guide, he had a couple European tourists with him. And one day in the morning, they decided to take the taxi and go to the site of the Iranian embassy and take some pictures there because it was interesting to them.
Yeah.
And they didn't ask their guide. Immediately when they started taking pictures there, a car came to them and they were detained and taken to the secret police. And in the secret police they started interrogating them, and they asked them like, who's with you, who's your guide? And their guide was still asleep at his house. They went there at around 7 a.m. They were supposed to start the day at 9. Anyway, they tell them it's this person, and they give them his phone number. So the secret police calls him and tells him like, come, we just want to ask you a couple questions. The tourists were released after 2 weeks, and the guide was in detention for 9 months.
9 months?
9 months. It was not his fault and he did nothing wrong. But they accuse him like, you told them to go there, or you allowed them to go there. That was his charge.
Că omul a făcut 9 luni de pușcărie pentru nimic. Autoritățile au considerat că a fost responsabilitatea lui, turiștii au fost responsabilitatea lui și turiștii au făcut 2 săptămâni de închisoare.
I experienced detention back in 2012 when I was in university. I was detained for about 2 weeks, and it's absolutely horrible. The food, the treatment, everything.
Okay, but for what reason?
I was riding the bus back home, and there was a checkpoint, a secret police checkpoint, and they checked IDs. And from the bus I was on, they took me and another man. They took us off without telling us anything. They told us we just want to ask you a couple questions, and then we'll let you go home. That's how they make you not resist, because if you feel like you're in danger, you will escape or try to fight them or anything, but they tell you, we'll just ask you a couple questions and you're free to go home. So we go down from the bus, they take us to a car where they're parked in the dark. And in the car there were like 5 more people sitting in the car. So when I saw the 5 other people, also people who were detained from their cars or from the bus or whatever, I knew that it's not going to be just a matter of 2 questions. They are taking us somewhere. Anyway, they take us to the detention center and they don't tell us like I asked them twice, like, what's the problem? What's the problem? What did I do wrong? They say, we just want to ask you a couple questions. They don't give you any information. Eventually, once they rounded up like 11 or 12 people in the car, they started the car and took us to their
police section,
to a secret police station. It's not like the regular police that handles everyday problems. Because in Syria there were 4 secret police agencies. There was military intelligence, there was political security, Air Force intelligence, and the 4th one is called state security. So all of these, they function outside the law. They don't need any reason to arrest you. So if an officer doesn't like the way you look, they are free to detain you, and they can throw you in jail indefinitely. So you can.
This is crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy. It was hell. So they can throw you in jail for like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, a year, without even accusing you of anything. So after I was we were taken to that place, they processed us and put us down in the detention center. After like 3 days, they started interrogating us one after the other.
Yeah.
During the interrogation, they blindfold you and they tie your hands they handcuff you to the behind your back. They took me to the interrogation office, and the interrogator was going through my phone and asking me like he was going through my contacts, asking me like, who is this person, who is that person, who is this person. I think that he was trying to find out if I have friends who are armed or participating in the revolution. They were just trying to find anything wrong against me, to basically accuse me of something. Because the way they operated, it's not like they have information about someone and they go detain them. They would round up all youth, for example, or all men. They would arrest every month, for example, like 5,000 people in order to find something against 1 or 2. In the eyes of their superiors, they seem like they are doing a good job. They detained me because my name matches the name of a rebel commander at that time.
Yeah.
So they thought I'm either connected to him or I am him, but riding the bus. I don't know. It's just stupid. This agency figures out that it's not me. So instead of like releasing me, they send me to the other agency. Remember, there are 4 agencies.
Exactly.
And once one captures you, they send you to the other 3. It's like they're sharing resources. The conditions there, some people were there for like a month or 2 or 6 months. They were teenagers. I saw like 14-year-old boy.
14.
Yeah.
Oh.
And all of them are accused of stupid things. For example, one of the kids who was like 12 or 13 years old, he was accused of being a rebel, like an armed rebel. And the boy is like, he can barely carry a school bag. How can he be accused of fighting? And most of the people there are thrown there because of reports from someone who doesn't like them. So, for example, let's say you have a factory or a workshop, and you have a business rival, and he wants to get rid of you to corner the market. So he would write a report against you to the secret police that this person is, for example, providing rebels with assistance, with money or whatever. So the secret police arrests you without any evidence, and they start torturing you in order to confess to something you haven't done. And many people there were like this.
So you stayed 2 weeks in jail for nothing?
For nothing. And
after that, when they released you, what they told you?
They didn't say anything. They didn't even say sorry. And the reason why I was released, because my family started making a lot of phone calls and paying bribes to these secret police agencies, so that I was released so quickly. The other people who were detained with me, they weren't, probably their families didn't know about where they were detained, or they couldn't
Find them and pay the bribe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So some of them stayed for 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah, because one of the people who was detained with me was one of my neighbors, and 6 months later he was released because his family didn't pay a bribe. So welcome to Jobar, and this place has been bombed very badly, and many clashes happened here because this district is considered to be part of rural Damascus, and it's the closest district to the capital, to the city of Damascus. So the rebels were in control of this area, and Assad forces sieged to this area here in order to prevent the rebels from going further into the capital, because once the rebels take the capital, it would be a huge victory for them, and it would be considered like Assad regime has fallen if the capital is taken. So they used all sorts of weapons in their arsenal: artillery, mortars, rockets, bombing from helicopters, barrel bombs. Russians bombed it here as well. And even chemical weapons were used in this neighborhood against the rebels in order to prevent them from advancing towards the capital. All of this bombing caused this place to be 97% destroyed. 97% of the buildings here were destroyed. And you can see that in the buildings, unlike Yarmouk, no one lives here because it's almost impossible to restore the place.
This city is big, or neighborhood is big?
This used to have 200,000 people living in it. Only a handful of people returned and fixed whatever they can fix and started living in their homes. Also here we will see some of the tunnels that the rebels used
I want to see,
in order to hide from the surveillance of Assad army.